Alien children played ball, while she could only watch, until a human gave her a prosthetic leg. The field rang with the laughter of children. Alien kids with glimmering scales, soft fur, or delicate crystalline wings darted across the grass, kicking a patched-up ball, their shrieks of joy echoing into the violet sky. On the edge of the field sat Kira. She perched on the rough stone wall, her hands folded tightly in her lap. Where her right leg should have been, there was only a stump, wrapped in a crude bandage that her mother had tied long ago. She wanted to join them. She wanted to chase the ball, to run free, but she couldn't. Instead, she smiled as best she could and cheered softly when the ball rolled into the makeshift goal. But every cheer hit a crack in her heart. Kira had lost her leg 2 years earlier during the mining collapse on her home colony. Her mother hadn't survived, and her father, overwhelmed with grief, had drifted away, leaving Kira in the care of distant relatives. They weren't cruel, but they weren't warm either. To them, she was a burden. A girl with half a leg who couldn't fetch water, couldn't climb, couldn't work. And so Kira sat alone while the other children played. That was where Nathan found her. He was human, one of the few who had stayed behind on the colony after the wars ended. Most humans had gone back to their rebuilt worlds, but Nathan, a medic and mechanic, had chosen to remain. He had seen too many broken bodies to walk away from those who still needed help. Nathan noticed a girl one evening when he passed the playground carrying a crate of tools. She didn't shout, didn't run, didn't even move much. She only watched. "Why aren't you playing?" he asked. Kira flinched. No one usually spoke to her. She glanced at the other children, then down at her bandaged stump. I can't." Nathan followed her gaze, then set down his crate. He crouched so his face was level with hers. His dark eyes were gentle, but his voice carried a spark. "You mean not yet?" Kira blinked. "Not yet." "I build legs," Nathan said simply. "Prosthetics. Arms. 2 when needed. I've helped soldiers, farmers, even kids. You could run again." For a long moment, Kira said nothing. Her heart leapt at the words, but fear pulled it back down. "No one would pay for that," she whispered. "I'm not important." Nathan's brows furrowed. "Everyone's important, and this one's on me. No charge." Her breath caught. Was it possible? A stranger, offering her something her own kin had never even spoken of? The next morning, Nathan knocked on the door of Kira's relatives' home. They were suspicious, wary of humans, but after he explained, and after Kira herself begged them, they grudgingly agreed. So the work began. Nathan's workshop smelled of metal and resin, wires and oil. Strange tools hummed, lights flickered, and half-assembled machines sat on benches. Kira's eyes widened as she entered, part afraid, part fascinated. He showed her a row of prosthetic limbs, each one shaped differently. Some were simple rods with joints. Others gleamed with flexible plating and soft padding. One was painted with bright colors and swirling patterns. "You'll get your own design," Nathan said, "but first we make sure it fits." The process wasn't easy. The first fitting hurt. The stump was tender, and the harness felt strange. Sometimes Kira grew frustrated, tears brimming in her eyes when the joint refused to bend properly. Nathan never raised his voice. "It's like learning to walk all over again," he said gently. "Every step is a victory." He didn't just build the leg. He taught her how to use it. He adjusted straps, fine-tuned gears, and encouraged her when she stumbled. He cheered when she managed her first 3 steps without falling. And when she fell anyway, he simply extended a hand and helped her back up. "Try again," he'd say. "Falling means you're learning." Weeks passed. Slowly, Kira began to change. At first, she practiced only in the workshop, hidden from curious eyes. But as her confidence grew, she dared to step outside. One day, she walked across the market square with Nathan at her side. Some people stared. Some whispered. But others nodded respectfully, and Kira lifted her chin. Her relatives noticed the difference, too. She fetched water now. She carried small loads. She even helped in the kitchen. No longer just a burden. She began to carve out a place again. Still, there was one dream left unfulfilled. The ball, the game, the laughter of children. Every time she passed a field, her new leg strong beneath her, she thought about it, but fear still whispered. What if she fell? What if they laughed? Nathan noticed. He always noticed. Go on, he said one afternoon when the other children were gathered for their game. Kira froze. I can't. You can. You just haven't yet. His voice softened. I'll stand right here. If you fall, you'll get back up. That's all running is, falling and rising again. Her heart pounded. The children had already started kicking the ball. They hadn't seen her yet. She could still turn back. But then she remembered the first time she had stood on the prosthetic, trembling and unsure. She remembered Nathan's steady hands, his voice telling her every step mattered. She stepped forward. The ball rolled her way. A boy with bright feathers called out, "Kick it back!" Kira froze for half a second, then swung her new leg. The ball shot across the field. The children gasped, then cheered. "Come play," one shouted. Kira hesitated no longer. She ran. The joint whirred softly, the leg bending and straightening as if it had always been hers. Her steps were uneven at first, but she kept going. She chased the ball, laughter bubbling from her chest. She fell once, scraping her hands on the dirt, but she bounced back up, grinning. For the first time in 2 years, she was part of the game. Nathan watched from the edge of the field. His chest tightened as he saw her dart between players, her hair streaming behind her, not just walking, not just standing, running, alive again. That night, Kira sat on the wall again, but this time her face glowed with pride. She swung her new leg idly, still marveling at its weight and strength. Nathan approached, carrying 2 steaming cups of spiced tea. He handed one to her. "You were amazing," he said. She blushed. "I fell and got up," he replied. "That's what matters." Kira looked down at the prosthetic, then back at him. "Why did you do this?" "For me." Nathan's eyes softened. "Because once I needed help too. Someone gave me a chance when I thought I was worthless. I swore I'd pass it on." Her throat tightened. She blinked back tears and whispered, "Thank you." Nathan only smiled. "Just promise me one thing." "What?" "Keep running." Kira nodded fiercely. "I will." The weeks turned into months. Kira became a fixture on the field, her laughter mingling with the others. She grew faster, stronger, bolder. She wasn't the girl with one leg anymore. She was just Kira, teammate, friend, runner. And whenever she raced across the field, the alien sun glinting off her prosthetic, she knew one truth deep in her heart. She had been broken once. But thanks to a human who refused to let her give up, she would never sit on the sidelines again.